Calculated and coming to you live here from Atlanta, Georgia, right in time for the final DreamHack event, one of the final premiere events, right on time here for a great weekend of what? Oh, that already happened. Right. We are here today with that event, but in the future, thanks to technology, we're doing another replay cast here, covering Group Stage 2, I believe. Yeah, this should be Group Stage 2. Yeah, Group Stage 2. A couple of matches that were not covered back in that weekend. A couple of very high-profile ones. I'm, of course, Yakuzaku of Nizaku, and with me today is el quarterfinalista del equipo que hisa el... bueno, ya sabes la esencia. Light _ VIP. How we doing, Light?
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Welcome back, everyone. Welcome to another DreamHack cast. You thought November was over? No. We're going back to the future, mate. We are going back in time before the World Cup, before Messi made a mess out of Australia in our match.
I remember that.
Before all of that, we're going back to November. And yeah, as you were saying, it was 2 weeks ago now. It was 2 weeks ago that we covered all of Group Stage 1. Basically, we were covering all the matches that were, at least that we perceived to be high profile enough, that were not casted. We're trying not to double up. We're trying to avoid anything that was covered by the main stream, the B stream, the C stream, which was us, and the D stream live at the event. So yeah, we're trying to cover matches that we feel like deserve the spotlight.
You had a little bit of deja vu. We cast the match and all of a sudden, wait a minute, we covered this that weekend, yeah.
That happened. I was kind of like vetting some of the matches with Asher, and we came across one of them. And I was like, wait a minute, and I just double checked. I'm like, we casted this. I was like, we've already done this. What's happening? So yeah, those aren't on our YouTube channel. I believe they're on the official ESL YouTube channel. You know, the VODs of our casts from the C stream and all that stuff. So if you're interested, we got you covered there. But for the time being, we are going into Group Stage 2, and we're going to be kicking things off with Group B.
Yeah, a little bit of a TVZ on our hands here.
Oh yeah, exactly. This is a group that consists of Elazer, Dolan, Mana, and Spirit. So a pretty hefty group, a pretty Polish group actually. I kind of
I think about it.
I regret not having Kuro on. Not gonna lie.
It's fine. I'll
this...
translate.
Oh,
for us.
There you go. Yaku, he's got us covered with his Duolingo level Polish. It's beautiful.
I don't remember what level I left off on that.
Yeah. Also, after experiencing this group, is Dolan now Polish? Is that how it works?
I'm pretty sure it is, yeah.
Oh,
he has the cabbage in him.
Yeah, mate, if you go into a GSL group with 3 other Polish players, you don't go out the same. You do not come out the same. Oh boy.
Do I want to know?
Well, I'll leave it at that. So yeah, we are going to be kicking things off with that ZvT you were mentioning. Again, we do have quite a number of matches available today, 6 best of 3s in total. So we will do our best to bring you as quality casting as we can. The CranKy Duckling level casting is what
TM.
I should say. Yeah.
Yes. Back in the day, they used to call it the Gold League standard. But then that got trademarked by Steel, so we're not allowed to use it without his permission.
That did happen. Oh my god, we need to get Steel to cast something soon. I don't even know if he's still alive anymore. He could be gone.
Consumed by the Bexty.
I was gonna say that it could have been the only thing keeping like his like husk of a body up, you know? Like I don't know. Smooch, papi, smooch.
Always smooching.
As here we go. So of course we're going to be covering one of our very own. He is of course going to be of course we decided to pick one of the groups that did have one of our own players.
A couple of we actually have a couple of his matches are going to be coming up. As they say that actually there's only going to be 2. This is going to be the first one, but regardless, plenty to enjoy.
Yeah. If you're wondering about maybe some of the groups that had PattyMac or Vindicta, I believe we actually did cast Vindicta live, and PattyMac was covered by the B stream, if I recall correctly. So they were already casted. They were already casted.
And now we're going to be diving directly into Cosmic Sapphire. We're over here in the bottom right-hand corner of the map. I forgot that I can't shift my camera in whatchamacallit. Oh, yeah. In the bottom right-hand corner of the map, swatting all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, we have our red Zerg player coming out from the land of Dolan. He, of course, is going to be representing Team Liquid. Everybody give it up for Elazer.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Cosmic Sapphire, we have one of our own representing the CranKy Ducklings. It's the American Terran. It is Dolan. Oh boy. So yeah, it's a really nice matchup to kick things off. I guess talking a little bit about the group itself. I don't. By the time we got to group stage 2,
full of Poland.
It's not just full of Poland. It's full of just amazing players. Like, we had a really hard time trying to prune some of the matches and try not to literally cast every single series.
I mean, we could.
We actually could, I guess.
But then we would run out of time before the next update, and replays would be broken. That would, be a whole thing to have to deal with at that point.
I was gonna say it would kill us, man. We would.
Would it though?
By the end of it, we would end up like Steel. We would be gone.
Oh. Look, say what you will about Steel, but he is still legally alive.
He's still upright. You know, he's plodding along.
Yeah,
he's a good guy. He's great.
I love you, Saxus.
I love you, Steel. Oh my god. As we're going to be getting into this series, and I'm really excited to cover this because, of course, not just because of our bias, because of Dolan, but he's kind of known for having such a vast array of builds before him, and he always whips out something crazy in TVP and in TVT specifically. In this matchup, we don't get to see as much of it.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a pretty uphill battle for him. He isn't exactly the favorite player against Elazer here, who has consistently been a top-rated Zerg player in EU for many, many years, but this is really going to be an opportunity to showcase what he's got, I think.
Definitely. I do think that's the case for a lot of the NA players. You know, that's one of the great things about this massive event, is that it brings everyone from all around the world together. And Elazer, as you were saying, is one of the best Zerg players in all of Europe. Sometimes overshadowed a little bit, sure, by both Cyril and by Raynor, but he's still up there nonetheless.
Oh yeah, very. Can also be a very tricky player as well. But of course, he does remember to make those overlords. So Dolan, he definitely, he's got his work cut out for him.
He definitely does. So we'll see how he opens up. So far, he's been doing some great scouting, but the Reaper does finally go down across the map. But he did what he needed to do. He confirmed the third base was on time. You know, we had continued droning. We didn't have any additional gases being taken or anything like that, so there is no early game pressure. And Dolan opens up with a 1-1-1, but not just a 1-1-1.
That is a cheeky little fusion core being built behind the mineral line.
Oh boy. And this Papi is when I regret that we signed Dolan, because he's going to be opening up with BCs, and what is a very common follow-up from BCs would be mech.
Oh yeah. Well, if the game goes on that long.
True.
Yeah, I've held back my bias long enough, I think. I'm bringing it out full force here. When the first BC shows up right in that main base, Elazer is gonna GG out.
He's gone. He's out.
I purposely didn't look at the didn't look at the group stage so that I could not be reminded what the scores were.
There you go, there you go. I mean, so far we just see a third CC behind this from Dolan. So far, looking at the vision of Elazer, he hasn't gotten into the main base. He is fully aware of the 111 because of the presence of these Hellions, and he does see the timing of the third CC, so he knows it wasn't a third CC before Starport, for example. But whether or not it's Banshees or BCs or something else, he's still unaware, so he is preparing just in case with spores.
Yeah, just making sure that he's all nice and covered. Oh, got a little bit of a pause there. I apologize for that downtime, that little delay. But yeah, we are good to go, and we're going to be continuing on forward. Now, Elazer, for quite a while, has kind of been known to just keep making queens. I think as early as late 2019, that kind of became a little bit of his signature.
Yeah, other than, of course, getting supply blocked, you're not wrong.
Well,
making queens is kind of...
I think they're related, in a way.
That's why that caused all the supply blocks. It's hard to say. But here we go. The BC does reveal itself. It does teleport immediately across the map. It is going to be actually joining the Hellions. He wants to bust through the front door. Yeah,
this is kind of a questionable maneuver. I mean, we can already see a lot of Hellions being taken out. There was no armory built earlier on, so these Hellions, couldn't be turned to Hellbats, wouldn't have that much longevity on them.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm sure Dolan was hoping maybe the queens were going to be a little bit more spread out, but they all immediately joined forces. Every single queen from every single base came together, and there was plenty to defend. So far, I don't think even, not even a single queen did go down.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a very high-risk, high-reward maneuver done here by Dolan, but unfortunately for him, that risk did not pay off. He is back to the drawing board, and we are getting 2 more armories, so mech it is.
We have 2 armories, we already have 3 factories as well, so we assumed that it would be mech, and for the time being, that does seem to be the case. We do see the BC slipping in towards the third base. Has to be a little bit careful not to be caught out here, as it is quite low, and I don't believe it can teleport.
It just teleports out. Another volley by all of those queens would have been the end of that BC.
Yeah, the BC survives, and that's pretty important because we are quite committed here. I believe we have currently 2 BCs on the map. We could see a third. No Yamato though, so we're not dedicating too much to the BC production.
Yeah, it's just going to be a couple of BCs to sort of harass and sort of poke and prod at the edges of the creep and the edges of the base, but for the most part, he's going to be relying on his tanks as his main army.
Oh yeah, tanks and Hellions for the most part. Meanwhile, Elazer, as a response to the BCs, he did throw down a Spire. We have 8 Corruptors on the way, which makes sense. He's going to have plenty of anti-air available, and he's also transitioning into Roach play. And what's a little bit scary is that already Elazer, he's hit that juicy sweet spot. He has gotten up to 89 drones.
That's a late game Zerg economy, and we're not even at the 8-minute mark yet. Elazer just needs to make sure that he is able to defend against harass, and he does not need to spend another larva on drones for the rest of this game.
Pretty much, mate. Pretty much. So Dolan has to do something to slow down the economy of Elazer. For the time being, it looks like the BCs are being caught out in the middle of the map, but we do see Dolan is paying attention. He does teleport the first BC away. The second one can teleport away whenever he so needs as well, so nothing too bad there. But again, just Dolan wasn't able to get across the map into a mineral line.
Yeah. And you should know just about by now that him trying to get map control with these BCs isn't going to work out too well. Not with all of these Corruptors out. So I have a feeling that we are going to be looking at a bit of a turtle game. The Corruptors are in the main, and they are Caustic Spring, Magic Field Accelerator, Pre-Infernal, Pre-Igniter. That's what it's called? That's what Blue Flame... That's the name of the Blue Flame upgrade, really?
It's Blue Flame, buddy, okay? I'm not going to believe anything else you say. As we do see the Corruptors diving onto the BCs as well with the help of these Cyclones, and with the repairs, it looks like the BCs will survive. But regardless, denying 2 upgrades like that was huge.
He may deny another upgrade a second time, but decides not to risk it. Yeah, this really just puts Dolan at a little bit of a... What's the word I'm thinking of here? Like, he can't move. He's inert.
Yeah, he's kind of, as you're saying, just kind of encapsulated. There's some better words for
incapacitated.
It. Incapacitated. He's drunk. He's discombobulated. Oh my god.
Intoxicated?
Hey, he's intoxicated, man. Here we go. The Banelings roll on in. Oh my god, they annihilate the base itself, the CC, alongside 26 SCVs go down.
That's a whole lot of damage done so early on. Dolan now down to 2 bases, which isn't really something we expect here, but again, Elazer, ever since he deflected the initial opening with those Hellions and with those battle cruisers, was just free to do whatever the hell he wanted. Dolan, meanwhile, had to turtle.
Yeah, pretty much. Like right now you can see Elazer's macro really being flexed here as he's taking basically his entire half of the map when it comes to the bases. His creep is being spread past the halfway point at this point, and he's just containing his opponent to those 2 bases or 3 bases, as you were saying. Dolan just had a really rough start to the game, and he never had any momentum because of his opener. He committed so much to trying to break through the front door, to break through that wall of queens, and as soon as that didn't work out, suddenly Elazer could do whatever he wanted.
Yeah. If this was a different map, like say Tropical Sacrifice or Data C, then I think a right move for Dolan would be to just turtle up hard, but on a map like Cosmic Sapphire, one, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to do that effectively, but also 2, I'm not sure if that's the right thing to do. I mean, Elazer already has that gold base. He can just starve out Dolan for as long as he needs to.
He really can, and here we go. Elazer just going to rush on forward here, taking down 2 more of these tanks with those Ravager Biles. Doesn't quite have enough on the ground to break on through here, but, you know, picking up a couple of tanks here and there is well worth it. The other interesting thing that we kind of glossed over, and it is because of the BC opener, because we had to rush into a Spire and because we had to rush into a bunch of tech, the upgrades for Elazer aren't that impressive. He's just now getting into 1-1. So his overall army quality isn't amazing, it's just the quantity that he really has.
Yeah, I just noticed that. So despite having a really great economy, you know, at a certain point as Zerg, you want to be throwing your units into the meat grinder. Units with 0-0 aren't really going to accomplish much now, are they?
Yeah, thankfully, here we go. 1-1 just finished up. 2-2 about to finish up in a couple of seconds here for Dolan. Elazer's rotating over around to this planetary, and the tanks are not in position.
That they are not. The Hellions were, but the Hellions were also immediately connected to with those Banelings. The planetary fortress goes down. How's that for 1-1?
Mate, I have to imagine there's a couple of biles rain down upon those tanks. How this fight would have happened if we had Blue Flame, right? It was cancelled or denied like 2-3 minutes ago. It's still not even done. And I'm not saying it would have won a fight against Ravagers, but I'm sure it would have done a lot to those Banelings before it reached the planetary.
Yeah, before they were able to connect with anything. That's why, what's it called? Infernal I'm never calling it that. That's why Blue Flame is an essential upgrade whenever you're playing mech.
Yeah. Infernal. What a joke. What are you on about, mate? Why are you making up words?
Pre-igniter?
I'm pretty sure.
Are you pre-igniting?
I'm pretty sure we've said at least pre-igniter before, but infernal, like, or inferno, like, nah, mate. Well, this is not Diablo, okay?
I was gonna say
this is StarCraft.
Or at least that one guy in WoW, Ragnaros.
There you go. Oh my god, as Elazer once again is remaxing, Dolan is close to reaching that 200 dodge supply, but here we go, once again the Banelings roll on through here. They don't make it too far, but never mind, another wave comes in.
Yeah, a lot of Banelings do get taken out by the tanks, but it seems like enough of them were able to connect with the Hellions. This is where things start to get pretty worrisome though. This 4th base that Dolan has, that's his main.
Yeah, I did notice that as well. The main was floated over. If we had the support of a planetary here, Dolan would have been able to just hold, just have such a stronger defense overall. Meanwhile, Dolan barely holds on, and Elazer is free to just remax once again. There is no pressure on him to worry about droning or to split up his attention elsewhere that could maybe tax his engagements. He is just, once again, making more roaches, making more lings, making more banes.
Yeah, now finally 2-2 is finishing up for him. The one upgrade, or the one advantage that Dolan really had in these engagements is now kind of nullified.
Yeah, unfortunately, he didn't start 3-3 as soon as 2-2 finished up. So, as you were saying, that window is now closed, and the Elazer is close to even overtaking that. And now he's teched up even further. He's found another use for his Corruptors.
Brute Lords are on the way. 12 of them
Oh.
being made at once. That's how healthy of an economy Elazer had.
Yeah, pretty much, and he still has a bank. Not an amazing bank, especially gas-wise, but a bank nonetheless. And Dolan, unfortunately, he doesn't have too many Thors to support. Looking at the units tab, we have one Thor with the main army. One.
Really? Because all the other ones, yeah, did get taken out earlier by the Biles and the Ravagers. Now that the Broodlings are sort of raining from above, it's pretty difficult to see a way for Dolan to turn this around. His BCs are in position, and I think he has Yamato now. Oh, it's on cooldown.
Yeah, a couple of Yamatos went off there. It wasn't too bad, but just the anti-air is non-existent. It is literally just the BCs, and the tanks are forced all the way back, and with the unsiege of the tanks, in come the Roaches and the Ravagers.
Yeah, really coming in here to make sure that this main has to be lifted once again. It's on fire. I don't think it's going to get repaired.
Yeah, the Queens themselves just dishing out so much damage as well, even providing a little bit of support, transfusing wherever they can. Elazer just having a really nice, well-rounded army. Doesn't have any spellcasters. To be fair, though, he doesn't need them because, again, that Thor count wasn't as terrifying as it usually is.
Yeah, but despite not needing them, he's getting them prepared.
Yeah.
He's still getting Neural Parasite just about finished. Pathogen Glands was done a while ago. If there was ever a point where he needed to switch into Infestors, he could do so with absolute ease. I mean, he's restocked his bank on both minerals and gas. This has got to be the final stand of Dolan here.
Yeah, Dolan is knocked down to 2 bases here. The Broodlords are breaking into the main. The Ravagers break into the natural. The BCs are doing what they can, but they're finally going to be going down as well. They've been alive the entire game. But finally, there's just a little bit too much Zerg here to really hold on.
47 SCVs have gone down, and GG is called. Elazer gonna be taking game number 1.
GG, well played. Dolan, again, my eyes were on him when it came to what he was going to bring to the table against Elazer. It was mech. And on Cosmic Sapphire, I don't blame him. It's not a bad map for mech. But again, the opener left much to be desired there. Unfortunately, even though the Fusion Core was never scouted, like Elazer, he had the Queen count. He had the Queen's count.
He absolutely did. I love the idea of it. As a resident battlecruiser enjoyer, but the execution, definitely was a little bit lacking.
Do you open BCs?
I did once.
Oh. Are you gonna tell us what happened?
It was against Kuro.
Yaku! How could you? You're an animal. I'm shaking my head. Oh god. But like the opener itself isn't necessarily bad. You can get a lot of value out of a BC opener, but unfortunately in game 1 Dolan could not.
Yeah, but we'll see if that changes here on Data C. Not a bad map for BCs or mech, especially a slower style of turtle mech, but we'll see if that's something Dolan wants to do twice in a row. We're going to be continuing our series on Data C, where over here in the bottom left-hand corner map, starting all the way in that bottom left-hand corner, we have our red Zerg player coming down from the land of Poland, representing Team Liquid. He is Elazer.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Data under the sea, we have his opponent, the American Terran, representing the CranKy Ducklings, the head, the brain of Voltron. It is Dolan.
Alright, I'm strapping myself in. My eyes are glued to Dolan's production tab right now. Once again, very curious to see what he whips out in a TVZ, especially a TVZ against somebody as storied and as renowned as Elazer.
Oh yeah, exactly. Elaser's been around for a very, very long time. He has kind of had his accomplishments throughout the history of StarCraft, and yeah,
Definitely been complimented. Yeah,
yeah, all the time, Bobby, all the time. Whenever he doesn't get supply block, oh, it's beautiful. Doesn't get them too often, but yeah, I'm excited as well. Again, just kind of bringing it back to what I was talking about before, I do think that Dolan really does thrive so much in the other matchups. Unfortunately, and I know if Ash was here, he'd be, crying about balance and stuff, but Terran can't be
it's okay, I'm here to smooch for him.
True. I'll throw you a bone. Terran can't be as flexible as they can in some of the other matchups.
I agree. Which is why, we need to get rid of lurkers.
You really are, Asher. Oh my god. The smurge is real, papi. Ay. Leave the lunkers alone.
I'm gonna miss that ghost copy pasta when the next patch goes through.
Let's go. Oh god, but yeah, so we'll see how he switches things up here in this game. Meanwhile, the Reaper does slip on in. Ooh, takes a lot of hits here. The Queen is going to come out in a couple of seconds, but the Reaper does get out.
Yeah, going to be very valuable later down the line. He will confirm that there is a third base. No!
Oh.
Ooh, survives with 3 health.
Oh. Barely does survive, so at least he knows about the third. He should be diving into the main base shortly just to get an eye on the gas count to see if his opponent is continuing to mine gas or has even taken additional gases.
Yeah, Elazer already prepared for that though. Dolan's gonna have to be a little bit trickier with how he enters this base. Or yeah.
Yeah, he gets out there just in time. There was a queen to intercept, but again, Dolan was a little bit too quick, and with that, he gets away with plenty of HP. Didn't get a full scout off, unfortunately, but at least he keeps the Reaper alive, as we have a pretty similar opener to Game 1.
Yeah, 1-1-1. No third just yet, but we should be seeing that just about, well, not now, but pretty soon. Liberator on the way.
Oh,
I dig it.
He's going for the chappy maneuver, mate. So because we saw an add-on switch, it's not going to be BCs. I assumed it was going to be Banshee, but as we can see, he's trying to hide it. He's going for a Liberator, and not just a Liberator. As the Reaper goes down, mate, he throws down an Armory.
Yeah, he knows what the tech's going to look like here for Elazer, which of course is going to be Lings for the vast majority of this game and for the better half of the opening. Hellbats are going to absolutely shred through those.
Oh boy, they really will. I mean, a lot of queens can still defend, and that's kind of the downside to this. I think I've had discussions before about the different kind of Hellbat pushes that you can go for, and some of them are easier to transition out of than others. But we do already see that third CC, as you were saying. We already see a tech lab on the way on this barracks as well. So Dolan is already working on that next step after the Hellbats.
Yeah, which of course includes +1 vehicle weapons.
Oh my god. That's a really fast upgrade. And I guess that's a way to take advantage of the fast armory.
Yeah, especially if he is planning to go mech again. With 2 more factories being thrown down as the Hellbats dip into the start base.
Here we go. At the same time, we have a Liberator sieging up into the main base as well, but Elazer is, for the most part, keeping up. The Hellbats are trying to get into the mineral line. They're trying to trade here with these Lings, but the Queens are doing a great job at kiting.
Yeah, now he has to kite back, and he doesn't really get much of anything. And the Liberator was cleaned up. In the end, Dolan killed 1 drone and 15 Lings. Beautiful defense here from Elazer.
Yeah, definitely. Like, once again, the Queens were in position. Elazer, for the most part, was able to defend his main base. He didn't lose a lot of drones. There was some lost mining time, I will say that, and that can be impactful. But for the most part, I'm sure Elazer's pretty happy with his defense.
Yeah, I mean, he gets away with it. He doesn't lose too much. That's a very early Thor. What?
Oh my, let's... Quanta, is that you? Mate, we're gonna see some Medivacs! We're gonna see some Medivacs, puppy! He's doing it!
He's doing it!
I love this man.
Yes.
Oh my god. Mate, where is Shuyi? Where is she? Because we are gonna have not just a Thor drop, it's gonna be lined up with +1 vehicle weapons as well.
I was questioning it, but man, it's all coming together. Everything has logic here.
This is beautiful. Oh my god. Again, he's not going full Quanta, and I want to send Dolan some Quanta replays now. He needs to see the quad Thor drop with +1. I think even +2. But regardless, he's going to be moving out across the map. So far, this has gone unscouted. Bear that in mind.
Yeah, Elaser's gonna be spawning to drop right outside of his main base, but by then it may be too late. Well, I just assumed that Dolan was going into main base. He doesn't have to.
Oh, there we go. He does a boost on forward. At the same time, he has a Hellion squad here on the right-hand side, going to be trying to distract Elazer. Elazer has taken notice as he sees the Thor drop. Oh, he was actually about to go for a counterattack, but he pulls back home.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward timing here as the Thors do now target down the lair. Look at how much damage they're dealing.
Yeah, they do a lot of damage, but the Lings are now here. The Thors are going to be forced back. They can target down some Queens, and then, oh my god, they shred through Queens.
Yeah, and I'm loving this use of the choke point here. Nice little bit of juggling here, and Dolan will be able to get out of there with a couple of kills. The Hellions do dip into that main base, and they absolutely burn this entire mineral line. 17 drones. That's damage that Dolan's got to be happy about. And that's damage that the Elazer is going to try to reciprocate.
Immediately, Elazer's going for a massive Ling counterattack. We have tanks, but the tanks are on siege. The Hellions weren't ready either. So even though Dolan did an insane amount of damage, unfortunately, he wasn't ready for the counterattack.
Yeah, that's a reciprocation there. Even with Infernal Pre-Igniter.
Inferno.
The Lings is still able to deal a ton of damage. Inferno, ooh, I like it.
Hey, it's bad. Stop it. Ooh,
Inferno sounds... Yep.
Yeah, as one Thor does go down, what does it sound like?
That's an expensive loss. It sounds like it'd be more of a Cyclone upgrade, right?
Inferno.
Because, like, you know, if you could get, like, flaming missiles on a Cyclone, that would be the Inferno.
They need... Why do Cyclone missiles not have fire on them when they get Macfield? What's going on?
And that's got to be the question, yeah.
But regardless,
bonus damage against bio.
Yeah, I do love like the overall build here from Dolan. Unfortunately, again, he was just lacking a little bit in the defense. He's trying desperately to resaturate his base to recover from all of that damage. But he's really having a hard time, especially after losing that Thor. Like, these Thors, mate, they're quite expensive.
Very expensive. And repairing them ain't cheap either.
Really is not. Meanwhile, we do see two Liberators going across the map, trying to get in between the bases. At the same time, Elazer is looking to max out on his roaches. His drone count once again at 92. He's got an insane worker count, and even though his bases are currently under siege and he doesn't have a lot of mining, like, look at his arm.
Yeah, it's still looking very thick, shall we say. Now, of course, it is a majority Roach army. I don't see any Ravagers in here, so yeah, very inefficient use of supply, but it's a lot of supply nonetheless.
Yeah, it really is, and you were saying it, now here we see them. Ravagers are being morphed in. We do see a little bit of a Hellion run-by being set up on the right-hand side, and that is going to be distracting Elazer at least a little bit. It is going to hold him off. And how is Dolan's defense looking like? He's got 12 tanks, which is really good, but are they going to be in position? Because they siege up, and they're pretty far away from that third base.
Yeah, only 3 of them are in position to defend this third base, and that's very easily dealt with by these Roaches and Ravagers, especially without any kind of buffer.
Yeah, like, Dolan has a pretty strong defensive line, but unfortunately the defensive line is a little bit too far back here. Forces the lift up, and oh my god, Elazer immediately drops creep. That is disgusting.
Yeah, that needs nerf, IMO. Elazer trying to see what he can get done, but there's a massive wall of tanks here. He does get a lot of biles off, so he is able to trade decently well, all things considered. Again, Elazer has 98 workers now and a very healthy bank and economy, so he can afford to trade a little bit inefficiently here.
Yeah, he can afford these trades. Inefficient, as you were saying, but Dolan desperately needs to get a third base up and running. It's not too difficult, just has to wait a little bit longer for the creep to recede. Meanwhile, Elazer is coming back in again.
Yeah, well, I would say it's not too difficult, but Elazer's making it difficult for him.
He really is. Again, Dolan slowly leapfrogging forward here, slowly is trying to reestablish this third base. And getting up to 4 bases shouldn't be too difficult here for Dolan, but trying to get a 5th from here may be a different story, especially because Elazer is already headed in that direction with his creep.
Yeah. This 4th base is just about going to be the last base that Dolan can take for a very long time. Did he Okay. I was worried for a sec that he lifted the main to the 3rd position again, but nope, that's just an extra orbital, so he has a couple extra scans if need be.
Yeah, he has the scans, he has the mules as well. Meanwhile, Elazer's just remaxing here. Liberators, once again, just being a little bit annoying on the right-hand side, but they do get cleaned up in the end. And Elazer is now looking to transition. Hive is on the way alongside Aspire, so he's still a ways off from going into Broodlords. So maybe Dolan can try and hold on and try and remax before that happens.
Yeah, we'll see. So meanwhile, Dolan is just rounding off his army a little bit, just making sure he has +3. I just realized he only has 1 armory.
Yeah, he never threw down a 2nd armory, and that's a little bit of an oversight, I think. He's getting fully saturated on 4 bases. He's getting 2 more CCs. Like, Dolan is about to max out with his mech army, which is quite good, but as you were pointing out, it isn't going to be the most upgraded. It's going to have fast +3, but only +3.
Yeah, which, in fairness, is what you want against melee units. You know, try to kill them before they can really connect, but now Elazer's starting to diversify his army. We have 5 Infestors on the way, the Greater Spire as well. He even throws in that Swarm Host, because, you know, you got to make at least one. It's the Token Swarm Host.
Yeah, the Token Swarm Host is on the way. Meanwhile, 7 drones go down. We have a Liberator in between the main and the 3rd, and we also have another Liberator here at the linear 3rd base. So, not bad, dealing a bunch of damage and just keeping the attention of Elazer at home.
Yeah, 9 drones. That's pretty impactful, actually.
Definitely, and the Liberator is still alive as well, so he could potentially get a couple more kills.
Oh, that's exactly what he's trying to do here. We're starting to get to the point where every single one of the Elazer's units costs so much money. Whatever Dolan can really do to reduce the bank and reduce the income of Elazer is going to be huge.
It really is. Dolan's gotten to the point where he is now maxed out. He's pushing out across the map. He's got a lot of tanks. Look at the units have 16 tanks and 20 Hellbats. Oh my god. He has to be careful not to spread himself too thin, though, as he does push out across the map.
Yeah, it's all about the positioning here on out for Dolan. He is maxed out, as you were pointing out, and we'll see what he can get done. The Banelings roll in when the vast majority of those tanks were unsieged. A lot of them do connect with the Hellbats. Most of the tanks are still alive, though, as are the Thors. And those really are the backbone units right now, but he needs a little bit more meat on those bones. He needs a little bit more of a buffer. Exactly. Otherwise, the Elazer is going to remax.
I mean, the Elazer's remaxing with 102 lings. Like, we need those Hellbats. Otherwise, the tanks are going to be so vulnerable. Already 3 tanks are going to be going down to those piles. Dolan is laying siege upon this fresh base, but here we go. The Infestors come in.
The Neurals are real right now. All these Thors do get taken out, as do the majority of the tanks and the Hellbats, and I think there was like 1 Viking there as well. Everything goes down here for Dolan. He does have a bit of a bank, but again, these are expensive mech units, and more than just the resource costs, they take a very long time to build compared to Elazer, who's already remaxed.
Yeah, exactly. They both plummeted around 50 supply, so they had a pretty even trade. But as you were saying, Dolan, it just takes him so much longer. Here we go, another Neural onto these tanks, just forcing more friendly fire.
Like so. Dolan has been able to reinforce as quickly as possible, so he's got a little bit of a foothold here, but Elazer now realizing that that's the only Pretty much the
Yeah.
only place where Dolan has units now goes for a massive link counterattack.
Thankfully, the reinforcements are coming in just in time, but one Thor and a tank go down immediately alongside all these workers at the same time. It feels bad, man. Dolan is trying to get a fifth on the left-hand side. He for a while now, that CC's been floating there, but there's one Birdling.
Ah, feels bad.
That is Smooch.
Smooch. We didn't get rid of Burrow, honestly.
So Dolan, he needs to clear this up ASAP, otherwise the creep is even coming ever closer as well, and then he's gonna have to use even more skins and have more DPS as well. Meanwhile, Elazer, he's now gotten his hive up.
Yep, hive is done. Or finished, yeah, 3-3 is done. He's getting both diagonal bases, because why the hell not? Greater Spire finished up. What is he missing here? Like an Ultra Cavern? That's literally the only building that's left for him.
Oh my god, as we see a bit of a bailing run by here as well on the left hand side. 16 SCVs are going to be going down. Unfortunately, Dolan just cannot get that up and running. More bailings rolling towards the fourth. Up.
And a lot of them will connect with these SCVs, despite the best efforts of this planetary fortress. 26 of them go down. We're at 94 drones against 40 SCVs. Even with the quadruple orbital commands that Dolan has, I doubt mules are going to be enough to really sustain his economy.
Yeah, we need more than just mules right now. I mean, Dolan has quite a large army, but he's up against Broodlords. That's the problem. Like, he's got a lot of Thors, he's got a lot of Hellbats, but he needs more... Sorry, he's got a lot of tanks and a lot of Hellbats, but he needs more Thors, he needs more anti-air. I don't actually know if he's seen the Broodlords yet.
He's got ghosts.
True.
Got 2 Vikings as well. Not really set up just yet to really, attack those Brute Lords, but one false step for Elazer, and that's going to be the end of his air army. If he gets nukes, he can pull a Solar.
Elazer could pull a Solar, you're not wrong. It's happened before to Solar, and it'll happen again. Will it happen to Elazer? We'll find out. That's maybe a good way to come back, or if somehow Elazer's army is caught out of position in a different way. We do see, oh my god, Elazer's actually killing his own roaches.
Yeah, he needs to clear up some supplies so he can get 7 more Brute Lords. Oh. When does it become overkill? When do you hit the point of diminishing returns here with the Brute Lords?
Never.
Because Elazer has not found it yet.
Never, mate. Brood Lords are always a good thing, papi. Especially when there aren't that many Thors. We do have those ghosts, as you were saying. They can get a couple of snipes off. Here we go. The army's moving on forward, but the Infestors are kept behind. Those Brood Lords are going to be coming in for some fungals.
Oh, huge fungal takes out, or rather incapacitates the majority of those Hellbats and cancels all of the snipes here from the ghosts. You're all of the ghosts! Oh, we'll take it out as well.
Yeah, exactly. The ghosts were intoxicated. They were not ready for the fight. GG gets called, and Elazer takes it 2-0.
GG. Very, very convincing here from Elazer. Again, Dolan came into this as the underdog, and he knew he was the underdog, so I really appreciate that he was really digging through the brain of Voltron, really, doing a lot of unique builds to try to catch Elazer off guard. But Elazer, he knows chaos. He is more than willing to meet those unorthodox plays and say, all right, let's do it.
Definitely. And I will say that game 1 was a little bit lackluster in that respect. Like, it was, Elazer, I don't think there was ever a moment where he was really sweating. But game number 2 was a little bit more back and forth. And I really did appreciate the transition point there from Dolan going into Thor drops. He actually did deal some counter damage. He got an entire mineral line with his Hellions. He got a lot of harassing damage with his Liberators. Like, he was fighting quite well. But a couple of moments here and there, he slipped up a little bit in his defense or in his positioning, or, not establishing a 5th base. Like, it was a couple of minor things there that kind of held him back.
We are 100% sending him those Quanta replays. Just gotta, refine that Thor drop a little bit.
But yeah, I'm really happy we were able to cast that. Like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Yeah, don't show that to Asher. Asher has something to say about Thor jobs. He's not of the same mind, but he should be. He should be.
He should get assimilated.
Regardless, GG, well played. So Elazer does move on into the winners match of Group B. Meanwhile, we have 2 other players here in Group B as well.
Indeed, we do. The other 2 players in the group, the other 2 Polish players, should I say. We just went from a TVZ, and we're going to be jumping into a bit of a cheeky TVP. Spirit versus Mana. It's on the way.
Oh, here we go. So this is pretty crazy. You could definitely argue that Group B had the 3 best players of Poland in it.
Yeah, Rip Cristiano.
Rip Cristiano, yeah, Rip Geralt, you know, but like a nice balance as well. Mana, Spirit, and Elazer, like for representing each of their races as well.
Yeah,
a crazy group. Weird seating.
It's a Polish squad. Yeah.
Look, I'm not accusing the ESL admins. I'm not accusing Sinistro of somehow rigging the bracket in this way, but
I am.
But maybe I am.
I'll do what you won't.
You're like, he can't hurt me. I'm in Singapore.
What's he gonna do? Send Poland my way?